In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the thermostat housing assembly on your Chevy Sonic. This will be located on the side of the motor. Let's get started. Using a 13mm wrench, we're going to open up the petcock for the radiator. Drain the coolant. Once the coolant's done draining, close down the petcock. Snug it up. Using a 10mm socket, remove the 2 bolts for the coolant reservoir. Pull the reservoir straight up. We're going to pull this over to the side, leaving the hoses connected. Remove the 10mm nut for the bracket. Pull the bracket off. Remove the connector, push on the tab, pull straight up. Remove it from the thermostat. Remove the clip for the line, pull straight back. Remove the plastic clip. Wiggle the line, pull it straight up. Remove the connector in the back. Push on the tab, pull straight up. Remove the connector. Pinch the clamp on the front radiator hose. Pull it back. Remove the hose. Be sure you have a collection bucket under you before removing this hose. Some fluid may come out. Pinch the clamp on the 2 hoses in the back. Pull the clamp back on the hose. Pull the hose off and out of the way. Do the same thing on the bottom one. Our hoses are so swollen that the clamps will not slide back, so we pinched the clamp and pulled the hose off. Using an E10 socket, we're going to remove the 2 bolts for the coolant pipe. Using an E10 socket, we're going to remove the 4 bolts for the thermostat assembly. There's 2 on bottom and 2 on top. Remove all of the bolts and the thermostat housing. Using a razor blade, we're going to clean the mating surface for the gasket. We want to scrape away any old gasket material and any corrosion. We don't want to mar the surface area. When you're scraping, scrape away from the opening. If you're worried about stuff getting in, you can use a rag and plug the hole. Using a clean rag and some parts cleaner, we're going to wipe down the surface area. Spray the rag. Wipe the area. Install the thermostat housing assembly. Get it lined up. Install the top 2 bolts. Get the bottom bolt started. Snug down the bolts. While snugging those, we're going to go in a cross pattern. Torque the bolts to 18 inch-pounds. Follow the pattern I go in. On our second pass, we're going to torque the bolts to 71 inch-pounds. I'm going to go around one more time to double check. Install the coolant pipe. Get the bolts started by hand. Snug the bolts down. Torque the bolts to 71 inch-pounds. Install the upper radiator hose. Pinch the clamp, return it to its original position. Pinch the clamps and install the rear hoses. If your hose is squishy like this, you're going to want to replace them. We don't have any on hand right now, but we will replace them. Install the back connector. Push until you hear a click. If you don't, give it a pull. Make sure it's locked on. Install the front connector. Install the bracket onto the stud. Install the bolt. Snug the nut down. Install the hose into the top. Make sure the O-ring is fully seated. Install the retainer. Sure it's nice and clicked on. Install the bracket onto the stud. Install the nut. Snug it down. Install the coolant reservoir. This bracket right here is going to drop on. Push straight down. Install the 2 bolts. Snug them down. Fill the cooling system until you hit the max line at the reservoir. Start and run the car with the cap off. Do this for about 5 to 10 minutes or until all of the air bubbles stop coming out. Once the system is fully bled, double check that you have the coolant at the max line on the reservoir and reinstall the coolant cap. And you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.